Looking at the focus modes, if you have it in auto, most of them are going to be grayed out, at least for the current batch of cameras that are out right now. So to take full advantage of this, put it in any one of these other modes, programmed auto, aperture priority, and so on. And then you can take advantage of the various focus modes or focus area. First one is wide. Now what happens is the camera will then assess the entire scene and decide what it thinks should be in focus. The next one is zone, and as the name suggests, it's a zone or an area that it remains in focus, not a particular spot. Then you can recompose if you half press the shutter button, and that usually works if you're shooting a group or a large subject that's in the same plane. Center, that's pretty self-explanatory. You can see a little box there. You cannot move this because whatever's in the center of the image is going to be in focus. So you can't recompose because it's just going to move and readjust to whatever's in the center. Doesn't matter what you do. Flexible spot. Now you can change the size of this, the medium or large. Let's just stick with small. Let's say I wanted to focus on a small area. You can move this around the screen and then half press the shutter button or use back button focus. But then you can't recompose because once you do, it's going to focus on that area of the screen. So there's no recomposition trick you can do with this one, except to deselect and then move it to a different area. So this is useful if you're not going to recompose. You've decided on your composition or how or what you want to be included in the image, and then you just set your focal spot, as in where you want to focus, and then you take your picture. The next one is expandable focal spot, and you can move this around just like the other one, but you can't recompose your shot. You can't recompose your shot. So it's similar to the other one, but it's also taking into consideration other things that are close to it. So it's kind of like the first one, but narrowed down to a small area. One of the most useful ones is tracking wide. You can put this to touch tracking. You can change this to zone or center or flexible spot. But let's say we want to go to flexible spot. The beautiful thing about this is you can focus on an area and then recompose. Focus on an area, then recompose. Let's say this stuffed toy was going to move. As it moves, as long as it's within this camera's field of view, it usually stays locked on it. Now it depends on the type of camera. Some might be better at staying locked on than others, but that's the principle of it. All right, so if you're just starting out, most people would find, or a lot of people would find, that wide focus is most useful because generally people are trying to take a picture of whatever's in front of them or in the center. The next one that's useful is center. Because if you're taking a picture of someone, especially if you're just starting out, there's no harm or no shame in using center focus. The one that's usually flexible is this one, where you can then recompose your shot after you've half pressed the shutter button or used back button focus.